Now we're officially going live. The round of 8, at least the first series in the round of 8, concludes tonight before we move on to the lower brackets and the continuity of the round of 4. And the opening is a run out to long. The purchases armor, 2 decoys, and they're going to be thrown deep at long. They can actually see those decoys, so those don't do too much for information gathering purposes. They sprint up catwalk. It's a 3-2 split, very traditional pug style here. In Storm fights one-on-one with Anger, loses that battle swiftly with a nice one tap there. And on top of the platform, we're going to go for a suicide plant because we've taken so many casualties as United 5. Clearly, there's not a whole lot left to do but fight our way out. 2 complexity players very weak. It's up to TM to make the biggest play of his pistol round. Here's a jumping man. It's 2 kills. He looks for a triple, has a 4th. If he just turns to his left, Anger just finishes off the round and gasps. Thank God. Thank God that didn't fall apart.
That was an epic pistol round. Can I say this? It's honestly, I think Anger might be the best pistol round player ever. Every time I watch him on Nuke, both sides.
All the European audience members right now are reminding you of who Forrest is right now.
I know, but man, he always gets a 3 or 4K. Go back and check the tapes for Nuke, for Season, and I do believe it was Cash also. He at least got a 3 or 4K both sides no matter what. Anger is ridiculous on pistol round. I don't even care. Forrest is a beast too. Anger hold it down, 3K to close that out.
3-2 is the split for complexity. They'll break out, send 2 down to long, and have a 1 support player back for the long flashbang. He drops back to the support position in CT spawn, and United 5 is walking. They've pretty much made it all the way up catwalk. TM's the only person who's given away his position, and since nobody else has seen anybody but TM, no rotates. Are they going to be able to ambush? Maybe as they come out, Anger sees them, has 1, and he's realizing that he's fighting multiple double in that 1 volley. He has 3 all headshots thus far. Here comes the rotate from Semphis underneath to help. I see you crouching. I'm going to try to jump headshot you. Bombs planted. XP3's fighting at the 1 box, and there's the final kill of the round. If you have 2 bomb plants, surely you're buying next round.
No reason not to. You got the first round. You got first round plant, so automatically you're going to buy third round, unless you buy something second round to try and surprise with. But no surprise there coming. They got the second plant there, so they will definitely be buying this round. So even though they didn't win the round, it's still successful in the fact that they're earning money based off that.
Look at the early breakout from Anger. You called him out for being the player to watch. Happens to be 6-0 off the start. You like it? I like it a lot.
I definitely like it. Anger is coming out. If he can stay strong like this, it'll be interesting to see what United 5 is able to do against him.
Let's take a look at our initial splits. We have a hold at Palm by 3 players. Moses is going to lower B to support, probably to flash in at Cat or support the mid push. And it'll be a slow mid control take with Sean Gare scooting out to mid, not even warning anybody. His close support player, Semphis, shoots him in the face. And Sean Gare's unduly takes damage from his teammate, drops down to 30 HP. So I think 4 alive for the T's. And Sean Gare's down to 28 HP thinking, well, I did my job. Why did I get shot? Smoke for the Goose or the platform. Looking at that ricochet here, we're going to follow TM's smoke, and it will go land on the platform. The take looks like it's sealed off for the cross, and we're back into the action. Storm is on the lurk. Take a look at the positions of the CTs that they spread out. Complexity is very slow on the retake here. They're not closing in on this, and have they already consigned themselves to throwing away this round?
I don't see them throwing it away. I see them just trying to work a little bit together as a team after that take. They're still a man up here, so they have the advantage. They have time on their side also. They're able to work that clock and try and get a pick.
Warden steps out, sprays down Hiko. 3 alive for the CTs. The retake looks fairly good, but it's a little late in the game to be starting this. And if Storm's flanking you, shooting you in the back, you need to turn on him like that. Anger finds his shot all the way down at long and is going to have a not good to defuse, has no kit, and throws away the round. I had no idea because I was talking too fast. That's 1 on the board for U5.
The first round finally won for U5 there. Able to make shots happen. They lost an initial player early, but the aggressive play from Garrus in mid, able to go out through the mid double doors without actually having to do anything besides step out, get the shot in the lower B, which opened the round up for him. But United 5 was able to capitalize working through the catwalk and able to get up there without getting any more losses. That was huge for them. You muted, Cotton?
I was, just for temporary purposes. I actually kicked something and it had to be replaced. Thank God that I just got back. If you didn't notice, Complexity is sending 3 down to long. Each and every time to protect the long push. They're emphasizing this perhaps because they've seen something that suggests that they need to spray through the door, suggest that nothing, probably should back off with 14 HP. If you send 3 down along the 2 double push and a long support from that elevator type support player, that initial cap push that United 5's been doing could turn into a speed rush that'll ultimately yield them great results. I'm not sure if they have that information yet. We'll see. Nothing has the flank on TM. He can't control his M4, manages to finally turn that into a kill as Semphis joins him. TM's down. Hiko knows that it probably is a wrap B, meaning that if I'm here, I need to fight XP3, and I need to hit these shots. There it is. He picks up the kill. 1 left. It's Warden, has Hiko right in front of him, who he shoots promptly in the back. Round ends, Complexity up by 2, 3-1.
Just that execute out middle, completely caught there from behind. Nothing was actually in CT spawn. Was able to take down one, spray damage the other player, and Semphis was able to control that from behind. Shut mid down as CT's there. And Sean Garris, interestingly enough, not playing mid, worked his way back onto catwalk with his op. So switching it up here, trying to give different looks to keep United 5 confused.
The home team, of course, is picking this map, and if they start out on a hot streak, it's no surprise for us. The second map, however, is supposedly United 5's. Take of that what you will. Semphis pushes through the underpass, not the underpass, the lower B, and engages Storm in a messy firefight that he wins, 4 alive, no casualties taken, and that is not really a successful eco round, at least not in terms of what you're trying to do to their economy.
No bomb plant there for the terrorist side to work their economy. They're only going to force 1 rebuy on CT side. So they're going to have to buy here. Only 1 player is going to have to rebuy on CT. So it didn't really hurt their economy, and you didn't really make any money off it. So eco round wise, it wasn't successful unless you're looking at the fact, let's
get the push
get this
from
over.
Semphis. He's already up mid, aggro by himself, and he got caught. That gamble, because they lost so badly in mid, he thought he was free to push because no one would be there. And United 5 was waiting for him. There's the first trade. Hiko ops XP3, and we were asking who's going to be the alternate op if they go double scope look. Answer is Hiko. Also, he gets decapitated. Long range. TM steps out as the flank. Nothing goes down. Who's stepped through the smoke, and that's such a dangerous thing to do. 2 alive, and I don't know that Sean Gares or Anger will make the attempt to retake, as they have to come from quite a distance away from at least the elevator position.
United 5 hitting their entries, able to take down players inside B, get them a little flustered. Then the lurk, TM down in mid, was able to catch the rotator here, and it looks like he's going to go for another one, possibly 2, and he's not going to be able to see him. Oh, he might.
Oh, this moment. Let's go to TM's position right now. He has no idea because he's tucked in trying to wait for somebody to come out of those doors.
He's got the player boosted right now. We got Sean Garris watching long with the op, and then we got Anger boosted up into the boxes in the house at long A. But hitting entries, the exact same thing that I told Complexity needs to do, hit those entries. United 5 hitting theirs, earning their spot in B and able to get the plant.
I'm interested to see how Hiko's money ebbs and flows through the remainder of this half. As he went into that battle, he got no kills with that op, and I know the returns are very cheap, like $100 per pop with an op. And he's down to about 28. He's full bot this round. Here's 3 long, like we called. And since United 5 is taking it a little slow, they've gathered some information early. They're sending 2 down, and they have a close support that's throwing flashes at us. Let them waste that flashbang. Let them rotate back. And if they rotate back, we'll come in late. We'll kill them late. And Complexity has a certain weakness that can be exploited there. Hopefully, one or the other surmises what exactly that weakness is. Sean Gares sees the leg of Warden, shoots him right in the top of the thigh. Warden's down, and the entry fragger that you are so high on in his performances is already off the map. Countered. Moses fires through, finds Semphis's face, though he saw his left leg. That's some good. That's like good mental projection on how big people's bodies are. You know, it's hard to do that.
Definitely a small window shot like that. High accuracy, you blow a shot off, you're able to get pushed, and then it's game over from there if they push. But rotating from mid look all the way over into B, which is going to be an easy take here with Storm in mid.
And the attempt, again, Storm wanted to come in through the smoke. Nothing tracked him before the smoke popped, therefore had an easy kill. There it is. 4 alive for the CTs and 2 alive. Now just 1 alive. It's XP3, our number 0, who steps into the site, looks at the window. Looks like he had the shot on, but clearly his feet were not set. Complexity is up 5-2.
I like the slow play here from United 5. Not the normal aggressive, gonna play super hard, try and out-frag you in your face kind of looks that they're giving. They're delaying the initial round by 15 to 20 seconds every time. Trying to work long A, trying to work that mid, get their way in and try and get that initial pick, and then trying to pick off through a site.
I just want to point out, I know Anger's in sort of a protected secondary A position, but he has no deaths thus far, and that's absurd. No shots that Warden found that were on target, and all heads explode for United 5. Their eco round got blown up. This is good mental math, right? There's no mercy in the playoffs. You want to run people over, you want to damage them, you want to make sure that you're so far ahead that you don't have to ever consider going to the lower bracket. And of course, the way that Complexity just did it, they did it with authority.
Definitely. Anger 11-0 now. We're talking about a secondary safety position for him. He was with his team. That was a full CT push up mid there. Getting aggressive, trying to get this round done. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's not a normal Complexity thing to do here. They knew they should have been on a save, which they were, but they still played the risky play. They played more like United 5.
We have a speed play to B. TM's leading actually has turned his team around. I'll show the map one more time, and he may collide with the cat player. He can just see Sempus. Tracers go up, and he's got an op. We saw that, well, we called, actually, in the pregame that it was likely that Sempus may pick up the secondary op, so it's been a matter of just who's got it. Who's got the money to do it? Because Garrus can op, but so can Hiko, and so can Sempus. It's just a matter of where we want to locate that. That could confuse a lot of teams. United 5 has backed off. Moses ran right past Nothing, who got Warden killed, and that means that happened to be a trade instead of an easy entry. In the smoke behind Storm is Sempus. He turns around, finds the kill, enters the site, and allows his teammate TM to just walk in. 2 versus 2. Sean Garrus and Anger. Op and M4A1 versus the 2 AKs, and thus far Anger has been perfect. Let's see if he remains perfect. Behind the big box is TM, and in the back of the site is Storm, 1 alive. TM fights versus 2. If he can cut this to a 1-on-1, he could clutch and reverse the team's fortunes. There's Anger. No good. He did plenty of damage, but Anger remains perfect. With the defuse, he'll be 12-0 and probably 3 MVPs. Look at that.
Sean Garrus, that op shot that he hit through the doors towards the guy moving to the back of the bomb site was absolutely ridiculous. But Anger right now is playing like a savage. Brought down to a 1 versus 1. The player who was shooting against TM very low in HP. Definitely a winnable round either way. He actually got the shot off first. TM did anyways. Anger was able to get the headshot quicker. But Complexity is playing so very good. And they're switching up their looks here. Sean Garrus is moving quite a bit. Never staying in one place for 2 rounds in a row.
So there was a momentary lapse where Hiko believed that the team needed to pause. Perhaps one player was having connectivity issues or whatever, but it looks like it's mostly cleared up. Is it? It seems to be.
I don't see anything currently happening anymore. And players are moving.
Sean Garrus steps out into mid, finds Warden, who was slow, had the bad spawn, so as he came back across in his own spawn, he gets legged at 19 HP. Hopefully Sean Garrus gets a return present. He does, 15 HP. It's like the same mirrored effect. Both gets tattooed and stamped down to their teens of health. The spread is at B. 2 in the tunnels, 2 in lower B, 1 at top palm, perhaps to throw the pop flash for Hiko if he is still here. When the flash goes off, he flicks the flash, and U5 may think he is actually impaired. They don't push him smartly because Sempus is close in support, and they will wait. They will wait and wait and wait. United 5 clearly is having a hard time hitting their entries. Perhaps they're waiting for Complexity to get over-aggressive.
Yeah, they're sitting back too much now. They're getting these 1-1 trades, which aren't completely advantageous for them, but they might get into B now.
They may. They have rotated out, they being Complexity. Sempus and, Hiko and Nothing are both out at mid. Spray through the door, Moses is down, 3 Ts in the site, and the rotates are on. Only 1 player remains at A, as the bomb has not been planted and the threat is not yet realized. Here's the bomb. It's planted not in the default, but in the L crux of the back of the site, and the CTs are taking their sweet time as they are gathering for the retake. That nade does so much damage. Nothing's down to 13 HP. Hiko takes considerable amount himself, and he'll have to be the second. Shot in. Anger is good. And 2 looks for this back of the site and actually looks back at the closet. He'll come back, probably pre-firing, picks up another. Let's check the score real quick. This is getting out of hand.
15-0. Anger is 15-0 right now. Absolutely
So,
insane.
do you think he practiced for the playoffs?
I feel like Anger started playing Counter-Strike again, or I don't understand. He's playing so well right now, but United 5 really needs to start going back to what United 5 does, that aggressive YOLO type play. They need to get back into that, and they need to start doing it now, because as cool as the waiting back is and trying to switch up their style, it's not working for them. And a 3-2 split on A once again.
Well, not often you hear the YOLO style be prescribed, and not often do you run right over a smoke that doesn't cover mid. Another one, Hiko picks up easy kills. These are pug basics. You need to cover up the catwalk because that smoke doesn't cover up the cat. Critical errors for United 5 as they get a little bit sloppy this round. They give up 2 easy kills, and that leaves TM and Moses to try to make some big plays. There's Sempis who goes down, and at long is nothing who trades him out. One alive, it's Moses, our number 9, who's in smoke at the top of the catwalk. And he doesn't have enough money to really warrant that kind of push. With the losing streak bonus, he will join his teammates who probably cannot buy this round. Well, it's T-side economy.
Close.
Maybe.
3400s and a 37 or 2 3700s there. They could possibly force this here. They're getting to the point where they need to pick up every round that they can, but really that smoke in mid destroyed them. The door smoke will not cover you from a player that's high in the back, as we see from the number 3 player who is Hiko playing that position again. You need the Xbox smoke.
Sempis is up mid, now into lower B. I'm not sure if United 5 has relayed the information. Clearly they have. Still, Sempis walks away with a kill and almost got a double before the trade happened. So we're back into the action, and we have our players spread out now. New information being gathered. Where is everybody? Is anybody else pushed? Because Complexity, look at the change-ups they're throwing. This is a very brilliant defense. Some rounds they play back, closely supporting one another. 1-2 with the support. Some rounds they send a berserker, right? Some rounds it's Sean Gares and Sempis blazing up middle, trying to disrupt their offense, and United 5 can't find their pace because they're so thrown off.
Yeah, this isn't a normal Complexity style here. This hyper aggressive play that we're seeing from Complexity, it's working in their favor. Both teams tried to switch it up. Complexity clearly switched it up, and it's working better for them.
Always do what's not on the game tape. That's how people can't scout you. That's how tendencies cannot be discovered. Spray through. Warden has the piercing kill onto nothing, and nobody will rotate to fill because 2 players are siphoned off in bomb sites, down to a 2-on-2. Sean Gares was the one who brought down XP3, who was so sure he had purchased entry into the site. Both of the remaining Ts are at mid, and Warden will split 1-1 on the flank, and this is a in-game leader call. Instead of having somebody ready to support and trade, we're going to split up. We're both going to try to pinch. 1-on-1, and I've missed that. Oh my god. Excuse me, camera. 1-on-1 here. TM trades Sean Gares. 1-on-1 now, again with Hiko. So many of these 1-on-1 battles. And our clutcher, our last perspective, has to be Hiko himself, who put up the brilliant highlight video, if you saw that against Netcode Guides, called by one of the ESEA casters. Very good stuff. And I don't know that he's challenging. He's waiting to be peaked. Silently walks up the elevator, checks behind him, and on top of the platform is his opponent, who simply waits. And TM seems to know the direction he's going to come from at the 2-box, head over the top, and defends well enough to win the round. Finally, United 5 has done enough to win one.
I have to credit that to Anger finally getting his first death. He's 15-1 right now. Finally died. We're in round 13 is starting now. He just finally went down, but U5 was able to make those shots even though they lost the man advantage right off the bat. They were able to keep it close, bring it down to a 2v2 at the end of that. Sean Gares almost pulled it off with his op, working long against Warden, but able to clean it up was TM, who actually 1v1 clutch there. So big play at the right time for TM.
Storm now waits in the B tunnels and throws a smoke that just barely doesn't clip the that protruding point of that wall. He throws it out to block off bomb site B. Interesting way to enter B. Oh my lord, Sempis has the Xbox memorized. Dinks Moses, then follows up with probably a chest shot, as Moses has no real idea how that just happened. Next trade, not even a trade, because up 3 now. Sempis has a double, Hiko has 1, and nothing probably has a 4th. This is looking like a beautiful round for United 5, who, excuse me, Complexity, who have 4 kills, and Warden picks up 1 to at least make it not a perfect round. 10-3 is our score as we almost end the half.
United 5 is getting themselves into good positions. They're getting it to 1 versus 1 gun battles here. Even though the site might have two people in it, they're able to lock it down, so the angle they're working off is 1 versus 1. They're just not able to complete their kills here. Getting damage off, not able to get the headshot before Complexity, on the other hand, does make their headshots happen, and ultimately ends wins those 1-versus-1 battles.
Tell me, Complexity has really changed their pace this game. What is it? Oh, there's the early push. Moses, who has been abused like other players as Semphis and Sean Gares have been pushing, gets caught one more time as Semphis ambushes. They do surrender an M4A1 for Warden as he walks around into the tunnels. Again, I was saying, the pace has changed. Complexity is not playing their standard game, and U5 is not adapting well to it. What do you do? What do you do? Now, Moses is starting to be frustrated. He's saying, I don't get it. Like, stop doing that. How do you make that adjustment?
The easiest adjustment here, United 5, the smart thing would be to wait for these pushes, but on the rounds that Complexity knows that they're going to have guns, they're not playing super aggressive, and if they do, it's few and far between. Every other 4 or 5 rounds where you might see a mid-push, a guy working out through the double doors, maybe one going in to lower B like we just watched from Semphis. They're playing it very smart with the way they're getting aggressive. United 5, plain and simple, needs to hit shots.
How much do you read into this that that this is a coal pick, right? This map is what they wanted to practice and what they wanted to do.
I think they just wanted to play. I think you got to get in their head. If you can get into United 5's head, you can get into anybody's head, actually. It's going to hurt them moving forward. And we're going to go into a map that's going to be a little bit more favored to Complexity here, so...
To that, I disagree with you, and we'll find out which one of us is right. Smoke out, nothing, wants to blind mid, come out, and this time he's the one that's pushing, not Semphis, though Semphis waits really close by the door, has TM decapitated, then gets traded by Moses, who looks into the smoke where nothing is not. Look back at the catwalk where nothing follows everybody. He's actually backed off and missed his golden opportunity to bring down multiple players. 2-man on the retake. And regardless of the outcome of this round, successful half for Complexity. Flash over, nothing, can't see anything, and he will throw the smoke potentially for the tunnels. Storm will see it and choose to walk past it. Early shot by Anger is beautiful. Moses guards the door, decapitates Anger. There's the trade. One left and nothing wins that battle. Complexity continues to be on fire, and Hiko just has a nice chuckle about it. That will be the end of your first half. You're watching CEVO TV. I'm Cotton. That's Misled. It's 12-3 on the harder side.
19-2 for Anger, though, closing out first half there. And that's a big CT side statement. A lot of people would consider this map T-sided. I consider it T-sided. So if you're going to come out on your CT side and drop 12 rounds here, that is a tall order for United 5 to try and fill here. They got to hold extremely well, and this pistol round is going to be gigantic for them.
Complexity is off to a sprint, a gallop, really. They're not really stopping. It looks like a pug strat, really. They're sprinting it to B, and they're not going to stop. We've seen this before. You know what? Manajuma did it, and they want to do the exact same thing. They stop in the doorway, and only a couple leak out. The bomb is fighting by the default, and here comes the rotates through XP3, and TM came through to find Sean Gares. There's a 1-1 trade, and as they fight in the site, they've slowed. Their pace has suddenly slowed. In the tunnels, XP3 claims a kill. Hiko comes to find that rectified trade. There it is. It's all even thus far. Shot in the back. Hiko fights by himself. He can probably hear the bomb as it begins to defuse. It's turned into a one-on-one battle. Turned around. Moses cannot find any sort of recourse. He needs to turn this into a kill. Otherwise, Hiko will... Oh my god, he pulled his gun away. He took out his knife in a one-on-one. 13-3. I'm surprised. I was not ready to even call that because that was the last thing I would expect.
Complexity, once again, that's the second pistol round they've taken so far. We've had 2 pistol rounds, full pistols anyways, and they've taken both of them in a relatively devastating fashion. That got brought down to a 1-versus-1 there, but initially they just mopped their way through. United 5 had to come up big at the end of that to try and get this close.
Again, with the same vanilla strats, why not do it again? They probably just went with the, if they're not expecting it, do what they don't expect. Sean Gares waits as the aggro lurker, fighting everybody at bomb site A as he sprays down everybody with his P90. One live on the top of this blue barrel area. A crisp shot by Hiko will drop him, 14-3. And this map 1 looks like it's going to be ending pretty quickly.
You have to think at this point, Complexity is trying to send a message here. These strats, when they got into B, bomb was down in B. One player stayed in B, went for the plant really late. The rest of the Ts just ended up pushing their way down mid and went for the hunt for the last 2 CTs. They're trying to send a message here, and they're trying to demoralize United 5 as quick as they can before we get into Inferno.
Let me ask you, is it working? It seems
I
like
would have to say
Moses
so.
Moses is visibly frustrated. He's talking in the chat. He's saying like, "Stop pushing, stop talking about knifing me." He's not happy. That nade does plenty.
It's definitely getting into his head now.
At the 2 boxes, XP3 and he gets sprayed down by AK. He's forced to retreat, and Warden looking on for the cross has been smoked out, so it's an isolated chamber for those CTs to fight. In the T's, Complexity have chosen to move into CT spawn and take up residence there. If you look at the mini-map, the bomb is coming out of long, and this is probably the wrong decision. Complexity is getting a little bit cheeky, trying to make some sort of clever play that'll get U95 to rotate too far, and as a result, instead of just running over the players at A, they've sort of killed themselves. Here's the flash. Pico enters as a support player, and XP3 eats his 3rd nade of the round. He gets killed by it, 3 versus 2, and the odds are still in United 5's favor. We can probably get a plant here for Sean Garris 1 moment from now. And now we're going to see a jumping bomb skill. Yep. Come on. Come on. 1 versus 2. Sean Garris holds the platform. If he can maybe save this, then we'll go on to the game point. Elsewise, this game goes on for just a little bit longer. Nope. Just like that, it is swiftly over. It will be 14-4.
Good shot there from Warden to end that. He was low. Moses was low also. 19 and 25. Those 2 players were very low at the end of that. I don't really like what Complexity did there, as you touched on. There was really no reason to try and drop into CT spawn and catch the B rotate and try and drop out. You had A. You had 1 player to beat to get into A. Instead, you put yourself in a situation where you can get rotated and pinched on and then have to try and fight 2 from each side, which was not a good look and a poor decision there.
Truthfully, you spend so many hours stratting in servers, especially for the postseason when matches really, really matter, and you have all these really complex strats because you're planning for the game to be like a 16-14 crazy slugfest. You start pulling out these crazy strats out of your hat that you just don't need sometimes.
Yeah, you get, as you said, a little too cheeky. You get a little too overconfident. You think you're going to trick somebody, and it didn't work out here, and possible momentum shift for United 5.
Oh, Warden sneaks up right behind nothing, puts his crosser right in his back, walks out with an easy kill. 1 alive, but the man alive is typically referred to as the man of the hour if you're playing this well. And somebody has pulled ahead of him, and I'll show the scoreboard after this since there is some action going on. 2 on the catwalk, and 1 rotating through. The bomb is, of course, if you can see with the resolution of the stream, it's in front of him, guarded by all those CTs, and it's incumbent on him to make the charge. If he just had a nade, that's all he's thinking right now. Sprayed through. XP3 knew he would be on top of the railing. Picks up a very good-looking kill, 14-5.
And we were talking about it, or you were anyways. Hiko has surpassed him in kills now for his team, but he's got a 20 kill to 10 death ratio there, and Anger's still 19-5.
Let me ask you this. I wanted to ask you this at the end of the first half, and I've asked Klops this in the past. If you're really down, do you get out of the map? Do you just say throw, get to the next map, or do you play out trying to make the epic comeback?
That always play out. Never throw rounds. I'm a big fan of trying to win every round no matter what. Don't throw away a pistol round or a save round just to get to the next.
There are some schools of thought that tell you that the mental reset is something that is very soothing, something that can help you reset your mind frame, but clearly a lot of teams don't subscribe to that. Anger steps through with this CZ and executes. Oh my lord, Moses gets blown away. That CZ is just so strong, and XP3 will clean it up before any more damage is done. 14-6.
Light buy round there for Complexity. Didn't go in their favor. Anger, though, was able to force a few rebuys there. So that was 2 rebuys that he was able to force on the round. So that's going to do good things there for them. It did hurt United 5's economy a little bit. As you can see, 2-3 players under $3,000 right now. So if they're able to string together a win here, that's going to hurt them and give Complexity a good bid going for that 16th round.
This is so critical, as Misled just hinted toward. The money for Complexity, bingo, nothing. Only about $150 on the board for them. In this round, if United 5 does win it, can force at least in another additional somewhat easy round. And CZs make things not at all easy, but somewhat easy round. And it's probably too early to call the comeback, but step by step, that's how you've got to compartmentalize this experience, because when you're down 14-6, you've got to live in a bubble, right? Each round is its own world. XP3 looks on. Shot good. Sean Gares just showed a sliver of his shirt. That was enough for the kill. Pop flash for the door players, and XP3 puts a shot wide up into the right of Semphis, who sprays him down with a 4 burst. Comes around. TM Shadow is showing. There's the next. Has a double. Reloads, and Moses is at the corner fighting by himself. Elevator Man gets cut out. No rotates available. That just leaves Storm and CT Spawn 1-on-2. The player who's at the oh, Sound gives away anger. This could be a kill if Storm just looks to his right. They seem to know that a counter-terrorist is already in their midst, but they are not checking if he pushes through the smoke. There's the first, is good. Hiko is up above him. The head is showing, and Hiko is still too fast. 15-6 onto the game point.
As we can see here, what I was talking about, United 5's money is definitely hurting now. They're all going to have to try and eco and do whatever they can, buy any weapon they can to try and prevent this, but they have to win out from here on out. And they're going against Complexity with guns, and we can see a Swag 7 in there and pistols for head armor.
Warden maybe wanted to just run low into the Opera's frame of view, and with that weapon that he has, the Mag 7, it was likely that he wasn't just doing it to get under the Opera's scope. He probably wanted to get the lower B, but getting spammed, he thought otherwise, and runs off to defend bomb site B. The rotates are on early for TM, who comes into CT spawn, looking for the B wrap, as they can hear some players in B tunnels. And only one on the lurk. Shot missed by Sean Gares, and it doesn't look like Storm's going to survive this any longer if that nade hits home, which it does. TM sees the first come out. It's a 2-man hold. Warden fights by himself. The next one in the door is Moses, who saw Hiko fighting still, trying to hold on to this one. Anger on the flank, 16-6. That's map 1 in a best of 3. Complexity versus United 5.